Hey guys, this is Francis.
And I'm Susanna.
Welcome to the second episode of TTE with us.
With CNaaJ on Charismatic View. Well, I would say it was actually really secretive. Not as if like we are hiding it from people, but it was more in the extent of, well, let me say, we did things to ourselves. We were not really trying to be in the mouth of people and in the eyes of people to be seen a lot. And we were trying to just use time to actually get to know each other and focus on each other.
Yeah, like she said, even though we try to be a bit secretive, in the community we live,
Not possible.
in the community we live, things cannot be hidden for long. But that was it, and we took time to learn from each other. And one thing, our dating life was like, I was in Hamburg and she was staying in Bremen. So I went there once, but we used to communicate a lot. Communication was the key, and now it's still the key. I can't, even till now, I can't go for some few minutes without even talking to my wife. That was how it is. We like to communicate, and one thing that really helped us in our dating life is the boundaries we set. We set boundaries for ourselves as believers so that we might not, even though in the place of intimacy and love sharing and time spent together, we need to set boundaries so that we don't have to compromise our convictions. And so yeah, that was it. We spent time, we enjoyed quality time together. We could talk on phone for hours, So I could just call her and say, oh, I'm on my way to lectures. And then even at the lecture, I'll be testing her. And then when she's done, immediately she's done, she'll call me. We can talk. And she told me the other time that whilst we were talking, her roommates came and, wow, you've talked for long. So when are you going to stop talking? So this is how our dating life was like. We used to communicate. It wasn't just, hi, hey, when are you coming back to Hamburg? When are you coming to visit me? We used to talk a lot. And one thing that we did, and we actually still do, is dating. We like to go out. She had a car back then, and even when the car got spoiled, destroyed, we still went out for some dates. We went to cinema. We went to so many restaurants. We like to taste so many cuisines, so we like to visit so many restaurants from different nations. Yeah, so that was what I would say.
Actually, I think you said all. I can't even think of anything else. One thing I wanted to say to the boundaries though is that it's really important that the boundaries are communicated and also that they are accepted by both. So that it's not just one setting rules and the other one just has to follow, because I think that doesn't work and it won't work for long and will not end in a healthy relationship. But actually the boundaries have to be communicated by both into the the measure you put onto yourself, what you accept, what you want the other persons to do, and I think it worked. Sometimes, there were some where I was still trying to say, if that's okay for you, I get it, but for me, maybe we could try and do it this way. But I think, as my husband was saying, communication is key. Literally, even now that we are married and we actually live together and I see him every single day, when he goes to work and he's on break, who's the person he was? He will literally always call me. Like, I can even set my alarm to know he will call me in this second. So I think it's just communication, getting to know each other, and being real and honest, and if you find a person you're comfortable with, then it's actually easy to be honest and show the true you.
Yeah, and then one thing that we did in our early days of dating was talking about our past. It's something that we shouldn't hide. She talked about honesty. I told her how I used to live before I met Christ, and she also told me how she used to live, her perception, her worldview before she met Christ, she came to Christ, and how she felt and how she even thought life was. So it's very, very important for us to talk about our past. There are some people who are coming from past relationship and past life, they have scars on. It has to be dealt with. We don't have to cover it. So that's what we did. We talk about our past. Then the more we talk about past, like she welcomed me. The more she talk about past, her past, I welcome her. We got to know that we are human beings and we have weaknesses, but now we are in the Lord. We have to trust the Lord for training and God making us to become better people. Yeah.
I think actually my husband, I was born here and my husband was born in Ghana and came here, so whatever I did in my past and whatever he did in his past, I don't have a community to tell me, and he actually doesn't really have a community to tell him because my friends are not going to tell him anyways. But the thing about what my husband was saying about being honest is it also protects you, or I felt protected in the extent of if somebody would come from, the bag and be like, oh, you are dating Susanna. Actually, do you know this and this and this and this and this and this is how she used to be? Are you sure she's the one you want to date? And if I myself wouldn't have maybe talked honestly about mistakes I did in my past and things I have done, it could have tainted the picture or the view that he has of me to actually decide, well, if that's how she is, then I'm not sure if she's really the one for me. So I think honestly, like you were actually also saying, is really key. No matter how difficult you think the truth is going to be, you can never hide it. You can just push it against the wall and then you will see that it will be up in front of you and you were not able to cover it. And the damage that might be caused by this will even be worse than what you expected maybe.
Yeah. Wow. What or who helped us in our premarital and marital stage? I will first say books. We wanted to pursue knowledge, so my wife got some books from Dr. Miles Monroe. We wanted to develop ourselves, personal growth, and then we also watched a lot of sermons concerning relationship, marriage, and dating. So these were some of the things because we really honestly wanted to pursue knowledge of the truth, so that it will help us and will not be living anyhow just to and hope that it will turn out good. So we really watch a lot of sermons, some of these short clips from Dr. Miles Monroe and another pastor, Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo from Nigeria, and his wife, Pastor Mildred. So we used to watch these videos and we used to read books a lot, and still now we do have books on marriage, books on dating, and books on personal growth. So yeah, this is what actually helped us in some way.
I would just add that to the point of reading books, of course, the Bible was there. There was a lot of scripture you can find, but we also read books from Gary Thomas, for example, or Stormy Marian, and it were all books centered on the theme of marriage, but sometimes also on the theme of understanding how a woman thinks, how a man thinks, what is different, why do they perceive things differently, why do they react differently, and these actually also helped to engage the relationship, not just to the point of we love each other so it will work, but actually what else is there that we need to be careful of that could become an issue when you get married, when you become one household, when you put your finances together, when you bring different household upbringings and teachings together, what can go wrong in communication. And these books and sermons and all that we seeked out for knowledge actually helped and brought a lot of insights.
Yeah, and another thing was the who. I would like to tackle that one, who helped us in our premarital state. I obviously say our parents, because my father used to advise me a lot, and he told me emphatically, don't waste her time. I will not even allow her, I will not even allow you to just allow somebody's daughter to be waiting for you, and the time will come you say no, I will not accept that. So one thing I will say is, we also inform our spiritual leaders. We told our pastor, Pastor Ben, we told Pastor Ben even led her to us, Apostle Craig, the late, our daddy. And this men of God became like a system where we can learn from. Because one thing that most of the times young people, when we begin to date and trying to marry, we try to hide it. One thing I would say, don't try to hide it from your spiritual leaders, because you should be responsible. My wife can tell me, you can't misbehave. If you misbehave, I'll go and tell Pastor Ben. If you misbehave, I'll tell Dada Quay. If you misbehave, I'll tell your father. So you could say that I'll be responsible. I'm held like I'll be held accountable, because if you have someone you are dating and the person is not accountable to anything, the person can decide to do anything he likes or she likes and decide to leave or decide she leaves. So it's very, very important. We didn't hide from our spiritual leaders, and our parents were also involved. They knew what was actually going on. And one thing really helped me was, my wife was saying, I was born in Ghana, came here some few years ago. There's this deaconess who advised me, and I can't forget about this advice from Deaconess Barbara. She told me, it's good that you find someone, but know that you were born and raised in a different culture. She was born and raised in different culture. So in order to really click with her, you have to try to adapt. And she also told my wife the same thing. You have to adapt to how Ghanaian men think. And these are things that really help us. So we have to be very, very, very serious about talking to people who are knowledgeable and people who have experience in life.
Yeah, I think exactly the example my husband was just mentioning about the different cultural upbringing. Because if you actually think about it, when you look at us, you would say we are both Ghanaians, so our upbringing must be the same. But just like as if when I was going to Ghana, I would be called a German, and he coming here would be called a Ghanaian. There is so much difference, and I think that's one of the key reasons why sometimes us younger ones, when we are trying to say, oh, I don't want so many people to know, or I don't want so many people to talk about my relationship, so I'm going to hide it, we actually make a mistake. Because yes, of course, we are not telling you to go and, write it in the church newsletter that this is the person you are dating now and the whole community needs to know. No. What we are saying is, find a leader that you trust, a spiritual leader that you trust, that you have a relationship with, that you talk to, that you get advice from, and you actually accept advice from. Mm-hmm. And then be honest with that leader. And this leader honestly will also speak to you with what they can teach you and what they have learned so far, what God has taught them so far, and help you and not to enter into traps that could have maybe been avoided if you just came to them much earlier.
Sure. Talking about spiritual leaders, there's this verse that our late daddy, Apostle Craig, gave us from Hebrews 3:4. He said, for every house is built by someone, but the one who builds all things is God. He told us that, you build your own life, but if you want God for the glory of God to be seen in your life and for your marriage to be established, you need God. So these are men, we need them for counsel and for their wisdom. So I think we cannot do away with our spiritual leaders. Never think that you can hide it. Like my wife said, don't go about telling everybody, we are not telling you go and tell this person, tell that person, but have someone you trust and be responsible to such a person. Is very key. It's very, very, very key.
Well, my expectations towards living together with him, honestly, I just couldn't wait. just couldn't wait for us actually to live together and be together every single day. And there weren't any scared things that I was actually scared of a lot, because I got to know him really thoroughly before. So I think most of the things, I didn't expect anything bad. I just thought, must be nice living together, spending time together, locking your door behind yourself when you come home. As I've lived alone before already. But one thing I didn't expect, honestly, when we moved in after a few weeks into the marriage, I really didn't expect how peaceful it would feel. How, like, when you come home, you're at peace, you have your own home, you have your partner with you, and it's just, I don't know, it was just so, I was just happy.
Yeah. Honestly, expectations has been there, but it didn't come to me as a surprise, because I knew the kind of woman I have in my life. Because, like she said, when I'm close, I can't just wait to come home. When I'm away from home, I just can't wait to come home, because I know my wife is at home. So it's the best thing that I would say. It has been so good. Expectations have been so good, and nothing has surprised me much. It's very good to have someone like her around you, whom you can talk with. When you come and we are talking about our visions, our goals in life, the desires God has set in our heart, and if we can talk and talk and talk, and it's amazing. It's amazing. We spend time together. Sometimes go for a walk, which she always likes to, but sometimes I always say, I'm tired, but I'm trying. We still do go for some walks, and then we talk. We watch movies together. It has been good. Expectation has been good. We also go out to some restaurants just to, if we don't feel like eating at home, we just want to go out for a date, we do that. So expectations have been so good, I would say.
Yeah, I think there was no I wish I knew earlier point, because communication actually always worked before and even after. So even if there was something, which honestly I don't remember, but even if there was something, you always knew you could just straight out say it, we could just straight out talk about it, and everything would be fine.
Yeah, and we are not just saying that everything is running perfectly, but there is peace of God in our heart. It's actually good. So yeah, expectations have been so good. Our daily routines are clearly defined. When I'm not at home, my wife knows where I am. she can easily trace me. So it has been so good. It has been so good. Regardless of challenges and whatever that has come our way, expectations has been so good. Yeah, thank God for my wife. Thanks for loving me, Shaz.
Thanks for loving patience.
Hi! May I have your attention real quick? We are not done yet, but are you enjoying this episode of TTE, Teachings, Talks and Encouragements with CNaaJ? Then let us know by liking, commenting and subscribing to our channel for more quality entertainment. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms for more content, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family.
Differences and similarities in our love before and now. I would say it's doing well. We are progressing. Day in, day out. So it has been so good. But one thing is our act of love. I know my wife is someone who surprises a lot. She can surprise you with very, very, very small thing, but it will just blow your mind. So these are some of the things that she just stirs up the love within my heart, and yeah, it has been so good. It hasn't changed. If I would say something, then I would say that it is progressing by God's grace, and it's not by might, it's not by power. We're just trusting God to help us understand His love, and I can also love my wife the way the Bible instructs me to do. And also, sometimes people think that if you are a believer and maybe you are on fire, that kind of thing, you're not romantic. No, Ask my wife. I'm very romantic. I'm very romantic. She told me there are some little things I do. I don't want to brag about it. Maybe she can talk about it. There are some little things that I do. I might not even seem. It might not even appear to me that it's so great. But she will so love it, appreciate it, and I mean the love, the small things that we do. Sometimes I can just be on my way, come home, and then I'll just pass by the grocery store and get a drink, just a drink. And when I come home, wow, I didn't expect this. I was crazy. I was craving for it. And, these are some of the things she does, and she surprises me. Trust me, if you find my wife's type surprises, she will blow your mind. Trust me, she'll blow your mind.
I was just gonna add to that. Actually, I'm so flattered. I was just gonna add that one thing that I noticed a difference earlier when I was living with my mom. It was easy to get a gift for him and hide it because he would just see it on the day I wanted him to see the gift. But now that we live together, I remember last year Christmas. It was so difficult because I was trying to hide his Christmas gift with him in the house. So one thing I did was we got gifts for the whole family, and I just tried to wrap all the gifts at the same time with, equalish looking wrapping paper so that he wouldn't find the gift that was meant for him. And sometimes it's difficult to actually try to plan a surprise if he's 24/7 with you. So that has been a little more difficult. But I would also say a positive thing that it has become more intense and more mature in a way, the way that we love each other or the way that we express our love, because as he was saying, somebody might think literally it is just a drink. But the moment I was sitting at home doing my home office for 8 hours and knowing I can't leave because I have meetings upon meetings, and he comes home with this thing that it was in my mind that I did not tell him, for me that's like, you are in my heart. Like, you know what I need. So one thing that I would say that is definitely different is, yes, it's more matured. It has become, I would also say it's a little bit more independent than how it was before, and it has become easier sometimes as well because it's easier to show the person how much you actually know the person and to surprise the person with things that they might not even think about, to actually realize, wow, that must mean, sometimes I'm really blown by things he does because that actually proves to me that he really knows me, like things that I don't even think other people notice, he actually notices.
Thank you very much.